Hi, this is John Adams, and thanks for joining me today. This video is part of a series of videos I put together on speeding up your PC. In this video, we're going to look at a couple of hardware tests. The diagnostics that we're going to run will at least to give you an idea of whether or not your hardware is performing okay. If it's not, the diagnostics should give you an error message, and at that point you can decide if you want to try to tackle the problem or take a PC to a technician, but at least the diagnostics will give you an idea of what to look for. The other thing is, if the diagnostics don't give you any error messages, then you can relax as far as the hardware is concerned and look at some of the other videos that we've got in this series and know that the hardware is not causing the slowdown, and some of these other steps might actually be more successful for you. Well, then this we're going to look at two. The one is the memory and the other is the hard drive. So let's look at memory first. Click on the Start button, and in the search box type in MEM for memory, and you can see there at the top of my list is Windows Memory Diagnostics. That's what we want to run. So we'll click on that, and we'll get this instruction box. We've got a couple of options here. The first is Restart Now, and the second one is Check for Problems the next time I start my computer. My suggestion is to go ahead and do it while you're thinking about it, and the main reason is if you delay the start until the next time you run your computer, you might wait until tomorrow morning, start up your PC before work and just check your email, and guess what? The diagnostics is going to stop you from using your PC until the diagnostics are complete, and that might make you late for work. So I would suggest Restart Now and just get it over with. Now I'm going to cancel this so we don't have to delay the video. But once the diagnostics are complete, the PC will restart, and then it'll give you a message, a report on whether or not it found any problems. Okay, the next one is the disk diagnostics. I'm going to click on Start, and then now I'm going to click on Computer. And it'll give me a list of the hardware that's installed in my PC. And you can see here I have a C drive, a D drive, and an I drive. Now, the I drive is a CD-ROM. We won't be doing any diagnostics there. Generally, DVDs are not going to be a source of problems that would be of the type that would slow down your computer. But a hard disk can potentially cause problems. Now you notice I have a C drive and a D drive. I have a single physical hard drive, but it is divided to two partitions. And so in this case, I would actually need to run a check disk on each partition separately. Let me show you how you would run a check disk. Let me right click on the C drive, and we get this pop-up menu. I'm going to click on Properties. And before we look at the diagnostics, I do want to talk about something else here. The General tab is the first one here, and there's an option about the middle down here. It says Disk Cleanup. And what that does is it removes files that are basically temporary files that Windows leaves behind. Windows may or may not need those files in the future, and so some programs have a tendency to leave stuff behind. Part of the problem with that is they can be affected by the indexing process, and they can also be affected by other problems that are caused by having your disk full of temporary data. So cleaning up is a good idea. Just that this is not, I don't think, the best place to do it, and we'll talk about that in a different video, because I've got another tool I'd like to recommend that does a much more complete job for you. I just wanted to point that out. Let's go on to the Tools tab. And here are a couple of things. And again, I want to point out one more thing before we go to the error checking, and that is the defragmentation button here. This is Windows 7. Windows 7 and Vista actually both did a pretty darn good job of defragmenting your hard drive automatically. When you install the software, it's automatically set up to do defragmentation from time to time, and there's really no reason to mess with this. Even if you go through a period of time where you're deleting a lot of files on your PC, if you just let the PC run normally, the defragmentation tool that's automated will catch up with you. And that's kind of a non-starter these days. You don't really need to mess with defragmentation anymore under Windows 7. What we do want to look for, though, is this Check Now button, and we want to look for hard drive errors. Okay, and as I pointed out, we want to do this for all hard disk drives. Even if it's physical and is partitioned separately, you need to do each partition as a different check. I would suggest going ahead and clicking on the Scan for an Attempt Recovery of Bad Sectors option. The tools have been improved considerably since the days of Windows 98 and XP, and in the past that option could cause problems. I don't think you need to worry about it anymore. And again, as with the memory test, this hard disk test will restart your PC and take over the disk, will take over the entire PC for the duration of the test. Once the test is complete, then it'll restart again, and if it does find any errors, it will give you a report that lets you know basically what your status is. And at that point, you can decide again if you need to replace the hard drive, maybe reseat the disk cable. There are a couple of things you can do to at least try to alleviate the problem before you end up replacing the hard drive. Okay, that's it for this video. Once you've run these two tests, you've tested the majority of the hardware in your PC that has a problem that you can do something about on a fairly inexpensive level. If there's something bigger, say a motherboard problem or a power supply problem, those are a little more expensive, and diagnostics like this are not able to identify those problems in most cases anyway. You may end up having to take the machine in, but if you've got a problem at that level, more than likely performance or speed is not going to be a problem. You're going to be getting random shutdowns, blue screens, and things like that. So this video is primarily we're talking about fixing slow performance problems as opposed to error problems. All right, well, that's it for this video. Thanks so much for joining me. Again, my name is John Adams, and I hope to see you in the next video.